How about that for an intro, ladies and gentlemen? Got the whole Untethered Live crew. Well, not all of us. Some of you have not sent me any pictures. So, if you would like to send a picture, send it here. Send it right there. And I'll get it and I'll put it on the interwebs. I'll make you famous. I'll put you right here where my face goes and everybody can see you. So you just send it on over. Photographs, videos, nothing dirty, please. I've seen all of it. I don't need to see any more. I have a really big monitor and my camera's up there. I need to put it down here because I look like I'm looking at the ground. And that's not good. I should be looking up here, but it's uncomfortable to look up. I'm looking up to see my camera. That's not a good thing. Got to fix that. Or just come further back. I might just come further back. Then it looks like I got a blank stare like I've been doing crystal meth all night. How about that? I love it. Hey, Mr. Bean and GW. How are you doing? Fine, sir. Welcome to the show. I have pinned the address in the comments at the top. If you scroll all the way up, you'll find it. If you have a camera and headphones, you're welcome to come on the show and tell me what's going on in your world. Talk to me, share with me, cuss me out, whatever it is you want to do. Come on. But you got to have a camera and headphones and preferably a microphone. And I'll tell you why. Because when you don't have headphones, that means you're listening to the audio through your speakers and everybody can hear it. Only they hear it a few seconds after it comes out of your speakers. And that's very uncomfortable for the person who's listening to it through speakers about something coming from speakers 10 seconds ago. It's not pleasant. So that's why. Your other alternative is you can turn your volume down, but then you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. We have a runner-up. Hey, Caucasian Sasquatch, what's happening, my brother? Are you muted?
Oh, what? No, I wouldn't do that.
That's backwards. What does it say?
Damn. It says Raymond, the man, the myth, the legend.
Who's this Raymond fella?
I have no idea, but he got into my sock drawer.
He got into your sock drawer, did he? That's not what I want. How do you do the you big, me small?
That's you big.
Nope. I know
you can't do me big, you small.
Why not?
You can do you small in the corner and me big, I think, but I don't know how to do that.
I guess this will have to do.
Close enough for government work.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing this fine evening?
Pretty spiffy.
I like your camouflage headphones.
Yeah, there's some ancient Turtle Beach headphones, and for some strange reason, they're the only ones that work with my setup and don't adjust any volume it's not supposed to adjust.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. I've got like $300 worth of headphones sitting around here that I can't use because they're too technical. I
got no money in these headphones. They were given to me.
Right.
In a box of other stuff.
Mm-hmm. I got a box of somebody else's PlayStation stuff, and after digging through it, I assembled one useful set of headphones.
This was a cool box, man. My drummer, I don't know how he did it, but he found some lady whose husband just died, and he was a amateur studio guy. And she sold all his stuff. And he went over with a truck and just got a truckload of garbage. Not garbage, but you know what I mean, stuff. And he brought it to me because I'm the tech in the band.
That makes sense.
So he brought it all to me. So for like days, I'm just going through equipment. I got pickups that I put in my guitar that I'm using now. I've got these headphones. I got these monitor speakers that you can't see, but they're pretty awesome. I got a bunch of stuff out of that box that is not useful for the band. There's a lot that was, You know, we
Right.
got PA stuff and all kinds of good stuff that was useful for the band. But I got a lot of cool shit out of that pick. And that talk about a deal. I think she gave him, that was all the stuff she didn't sell.
Right.
No more guests.
How
How
do
about
you
that?
attract so many fucking trolls, dude?
I'm a
How do you?
Christian and I preach the word of God on Sundays. So they try to get me down. You know, you get the most flack when you're over the target, right?
That is unfortunate. Hello, Fab Daddy.
Mr. Bean and GW, I apologize for you. You've been banned. Now tell me that they can't copy other people's names who are in my chat.
Absolutely can.
Well, if that wasn't you, I apologize, but I can't take that risk.
Yeah, no, it's that's pretty harsh. They're going at you pretty hard.
They are. That's all right. That's all right. I got thick skin. I'm just worried about people watching. I don't want people to get disgusted and run away. Because the people that are in the chat are not the only people that watch this show. All week long, people come in and watch the show during the week and at night, and that ain't very nice. We're adults here. Grow up, people. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth.
Right?
Fab Daddy, don't say so. Sorry. Nope, you look too young. You're not coming on.
This is relatively disturbing.
It looks like I'm going to lose half of my friends tonight.
Yeah, that's the purpose here. They probably pulled up your subscription list and they're going step by step through.
Yeah. Fab Daddy says that my show has been hijacked, so I'm not going to ban you because it may not be you. But you're not coming on. I apologize. You hadn't been with me long enough, and I don't know your face. And from this point forward, if I don't know your face, I'm not putting you on. Sorry.
You all got me. Which means you also have to be careful about people whose face you do know.
Well, I mean, if I know your face, I can't.
Because you know what I'm talking about. Because I can do this shit too. You know, that's the same thing they're doing. It's just I'm not nefarious.
Brandon said nobody wants to be me. Well, I'm learning. This is a learning experience. So y'all go ahead, give it your best shot.
Yeah,
This will be the last chance you get.
No, when I don't think I've ever seen Fab Daddy Fab blah, 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 that word that's written there that I have difficulty say Fab Daddy ever on any panel anywhere ever.
Well, he just said it's me. I don't ever want to be on.
Right.
I'll be a keyboard warrior. Well, that's comforting to know, Fab Daddy. So if I see your name pop up, I won't feel bad about banning whomever that is. Don't think that I'm trying to get rid of anybody. I'm just trying not to get porn bombed again.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I have about a half a dozen different images of this monkey over here.
Yep.
And I swap them out on the regular. And you're welcome to take that approach. I've already got one guy running around trying to besmirch the Sasquatch name.
Well, it looks like we're on some kind of list tonight. That's about the fifth one.
Yeah.
Yep. A bunch of names I've never seen before too, and they ain't coming.
You know what's funny though? I didn't see any of those names come into the chat on my end. I don't think. I think I saw George. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been the real George in chat. I don't know.
Hang on just 1 second.
All right. I'm not sure what to do with dead air. He didn't leave me a mission. All I needed was a mission statement. Some kind of statement about some kind of mission.
Oh, that must have really got my blood boiling. I got hot here all of a sudden.
Make you angry. Yeah, it makes me angry. Dude, that's like the 5th live stream I've been on that has had that happen. Do you have an email open?
Do I have one opened? I can open one.
No, I'm saying like just your Gmail or whatever, wherever you've got your YouTube linked into.
Yep.
They'll send you an email if they're going to take you down or whatever. Usually they'll do it a few seconds before it happens.
I'll check it out when I leave and see if it happened. Either way, I fight back. So remember that, folks. Fab Daddy, I agree with you. What a shame these children can't carry on an adult conversation when I'm trying to be non-adult in the first place.
Right. I'm perfectly willing to be a childish,
Thank you.
something. One of those things.
See, what y'all don't seem to understand, I am friends and have on personal retainer the master troll. And if you piss me off, I'll send him after you.
I will gladly host your channel, Brandon. You're the one doing all the Get Fiddle playing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I checked you out. You're pretty good, man. I did check you out.
Decent. Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking for superstars over here, man. Actually, I am looking for superstars, but I'm looking for superstars that aren't superstars yet.
Yeah. Well, I checked him out, and he's got a pretty sweet telly. I want it. He won't give it to me, though.
It is pretty.
But if you get a chance, for all you guitar enthusiasts out there, I'm getting ready to buy a Fender Aerodyne. Check it out if you don't know what it is. It's probably the sexiest thing I've ever seen made of wood. Aerodyne, Fender Aerodyne, made in Japan in the 80s. Here's a little history for the Fender Corporation. Fender got bought by a company called CBS, and they downsized everything and went to making cheaper, easier to sell guitars, which made the quality drop drastically. So they opened a store in Japan and built a factory there, or hired a factory there called Fujijin. There it is. There's that baby. And so look for the black one. That's a bass. So Fujijin started making Fender products, Fender proper products, and selling them across the whole world. Yeah, that's pretty too. And some people say that the stuff that came out of that Fujijin factory is the finest work ever done by any Fender company anywhere in the world. I mean, they really had like master luthiers working on their stuff. But then a couple years later, they split into two companies, Fujijin and another one I can't remember the name of, but very Japanese sounding. And their quality went down then too. But from 80 to 85, some of the best instruments ever made came out of that Japanese factory, and I am getting one. That Aerodyne is beautiful. Look at that thing. It's bound. It's a flat top. You know how most Stratocasters have body curves all in it? That's got a curved top, but the whole thing is basically flat. And then it's bound all the way around. And it's got special pickups in it, and it's just a work of art. I just have to have one. So I'm working towards getting one of those. That black one's the one I want. Either that or gunmetal blue. Hey, April, how are you, sweetheart? You missed all the excitement earlier. We got porn bombed about 5 times. Thank you for pulling that up for me there, Caucasian.
I hope she missed all the excitement. I'll be honest.
I hope so, too. Ladies shouldn't have to see that. Unless they freaky, you know.
But even then, they shouldn't have to see it until they decide to.
Right. It should be their choice. I mean, she is related to me, so there's a certain amount of freaky built in, but still, come on.
I was kind of thinking that was actually George Ward in chat and a fake that came up. That was definitely a fake that came up because I've seen George Ward. I know the guy. I was a hair behind who was up at the time. I was like, wait, that's not right. Make damn sure you stay on that button. You are muted.
I'm muted? Maybe it's am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. George, he's the guy that's Mr. Bean GNW, right?
Right.
Well,
There is a real George Ward. He is a cool dude.
Well, look, I just banned him, but I banned him from Streamyards. Does that mean he's banned in YouTube also?
He should be, yeah.
Well, I may be able to have to go look him up and unban him.
We'll find out. It'll be today or tomorrow sometime. He'll send me an email, and I'll be like, okay. Because I mean, they don't have to type in chat to hijack a channel. You know?
Yeah, April says, "I want to know what a porn bomb is," and
Honey,
Kevin does too.
You really don't. It's never pretty. Probably smells. Almost definitely smells.
Yeah, if you really want to know, then rewind back to the beginning of this video. But I implore you not to.
Sasquatch advises against that type of activity entirely.
It's terrible. Brandon says, "Hey, April, and you too, Sasquatch, and Jack. Good to know you."
Let's see. I can do this.
Brandon seems like a solid dude, and I appreciate you, Brandon. What is porn bomb?
It's when someone comes onto your panel and posts and puts like you see me moving stuff around over here. Right. They use this ability to put some horrendous, terrible thing on that nobody really wants to see except for people in Germany under certain circumstances.
Put it this way. Are you familiar with Two Girls, One Cup? It's the perversion of that.
It's even more perverted than that. Yeah, you're not wrong. I've had 3 of them backstage at a time sometimes. It's kind of funny. But there's this thing though. You kind of learn to smell them. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Somebody will pop up and it's not right.
Well, it was my first time, so please do forgive me, gods of YouTube, and know that I won't let it happen again. That's me, bro. Just a dude. I like to be real.
Just a dude pretending to be another dude dressed
Trapped
up like
another dude.
What was that? That was Tropical Thunder.
That's got to be the best line in any movie anywhere ever. I'm just a dude playing a dude trapped in another dude. What do you mean, you people? Lord have mercy. Bless my soul. I'm a walking, talking Tootsie Roll. What? Who said that?
It wasn't me. I don't speak in mysteries.
Who be texting me? Oh. I'm getting it from both ends. You like that, didn't you? See what I did there?
No comment.
No comment.
I don't answer questions.
Hey, folks, if you're real, you have a photograph that I recognize, you have headphones and a microphone, come on the show and talk to us. But I warn you, you're going to have to prove to me it's you. I need to see skin. Yours. Nobody else's.
I disavow all aspects of this conversation. I want no part of any of it.
You ever picked up a hooker in 12 midnight?
I don't answer questions.
First question they ask is, are you a cop? Second question they ask is, prove it. There's only one way you can prove it.
Oh.
I don't know how I know that, but it ain't from picking up hookers.
Obviously. I mean, really?
Actually, I did pick up a hooker one time, but it was for someone else. Honestly, I'm not just saying that.
I'll be right back.
Be right back.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Be right back. So anyway, the story is, I was in electronics engineering school. Yes, I'm college educated. And I had a partner there, a friend, who was on house arrest. So the only place he could go was to school. Turned out later on he was on house arrest for being a giant crackhead, only I didn't know that at the time. Anyway, he asked me to go pick him some stuff up from town. Okay, give me a list. So he gave me a list, and on the bottom of the list was hooker. So, me being the solid friend that I am, I went and found him a working girl, picked her up. This is my first time, probably her first time. I don't know. But he had a good night, and I got paid, so whatever. That's the story.
Yeah,
Solid dude.
If y'all are out having dinner, you certainly don't want to scroll back and check anything previous in this stream. Don't do that to yourself.
I'm not playing PUBG, so no headphones needed. I don't know what PUBG is.
It's like a third-person shooter. It's free.
Oh, okay. April says, just to let you know, Kevin and me are out to dinner. That's me and Kevin.
Kevin
Kevin and I. So if I don't talk, it's because I'm in the middle of doing something. That sounded raunchy.
The grammar N-word. The other N-word.
The other N-word. The other white meat.
Yeah, white meat, yeah.
I've had enough trouble in life without hookers. I hear you, brother. Me too. I've had the women that I didn't have to pay for, and they were just as much trouble. Brandon said, "Y'all enjoy your dinner."
You don't pay a hooker for what you think you pay her for.
Right.
Pay her to leave and shut the hell up.
Yeah, the sex is free.
And not tell nobody. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for what you think you're paying for. Otherwise, you'll end up running around playing the Badger game.
I've always wondered why prostitution was illegal and how they could enforce that, because if you sold friendship and y'all just ended up having sex, that's not illegal. That happens every day in every pub across America. Listen up, ladies.
I just don't have an issue with the idea. I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
And people hit me with this. If my daughter was what, 18? We'll have that conversation then. Till then, you're a nasty individual and stop bringing my daughter up in conversation.
That's right. I don't care who you are. That's my daughter. That means I will always want to kill you. I don't care even if it's right.
Murder's so finally over so quick. You can just stick them in a keg, feed them through the bung, let her decide what to do with them later.
My daughter's a princess in my eyes. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what she does.
You clicked out again.
Well, that might be a good serendipitous thing.
It might be. You seem to be getting pretty hot over yonder.
Yeah, hot and bothered. Am I back?
Yeah.
I'm back. That's my daughter. I don't care how old she gets. I don't care who is talking. I don't care what she does. She's a princess to me, and I will kill you quickly over her. And she knows it.
I'm not going to tell you.
What do you mean?
I'm not mentioning it.
Huh?
All right, so there would be an audible pop where that cracker used to be.
Yes.
And people be like, what happened to George? I don't know. George is gone. Last time I heard, he was talking about Sasquatch and some other crap, and then he's gone.
Yes.
He went looking for Sasquatch. Maybe he found Sasquatch.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying don't get no ideas around my daughter, that's all. Even if you're married to her, I want you to act like you ain't never even held hands.
I don't know about all that, but I got limits. The one great thing about a swamp is there an unlimited set of holes already built in.
That's right.
One more ain't gonna attract no attention.
That's right. What's up, Kev? Good to see you, buddy. I know you ain't talking, but you're listening. Oh, what a wonderful day it is.
It's a pretty good day.
A very good day.
The My oranges are ripening like 3
Mm.
months early, and I don't know why.
Climate change.
Hardly.
It's Biden's
Like,
fault.
the past 5 years, they've ripened right around between Christmas and New Year's. Last year, they were almost as late as February, which was weird then, even though it was, like, real cold all year and stuff. It was
Mm.
I don't know. This year, they're almost ripe sitting out there right now. It's what, October, November, December.
Well, eat them up. That's what I do.
I'm gonna do a live stream, and I'm gonna have me a screwdriver, 1. I've got just enough for 1 good screwdriver. It's gonna be a doozy, too.
I bought some liquor today
Why would you do such a thing?
because occasionally I like to drink.
It keeps the tooth clear.
I don't drink very often. Matter of fact, you could say I don't drink,
I
but every
remember
now and then,
3 occasions where you drank,
yeah.
and 2 of them you drank a little bit, stop. On one of them, you became a stark raving madman
Yes,
over
I
there
remember.
doing your own fucking thing over there, dude. I was like, "Don't interrupt me with that. I'm not involved. Y'all go ahead. I'm hammered. Y'all go ahead."
What are your costumes this year? Fab Daddy wants to know. What are you going for as Halloween? I'm guessing.
I have a couple of options.
I'm going as a broke YouTuber.
I am a broke YouTuber.
Me too.
I
It's a self portrait.
oh, I see. That's life imitating art and imitating life. Okay. Um, I have a really good devil mask and claws, and I also am. I have an eye patch and a robe, like
Hmm.
full on Odin.
So you're
I've
gonna go as a Devil Odin?
No, I have a chainmail suit of armor and
That's a
bearded.
confusing costume.
I had these things, right? And I have like full on no full stop duster, like cowboy duster.
That's a very confusing costume.
On my first attempt at internet fame stardom, I was the Datalorian on Instagram. You may still be able to go find some pictures of me out there.
Is that like saying you're working on your second $1,000,000? You gave up on your first?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Well, when I started that, tried to start with Instagram, and
Ah,
while it did well, I just didn't understand it,
mm.
the proper framework. I wasn't doing it right. I didn't start the right way, and so everything was difficult. Um,
Last year I was anxiety man. I made a cape with bubble wrap. I bet all the girls were interested in you.
yeah, they just followed him around.
Pop.
Girls and slightly attention deficit disorder types, and anybody with meth.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I did Joker. It was a year that Batman came out.
Right.
Anyway, I went all out. I used to spend like $1,000 on Halloween every year, and I would go all out. But that stopped when the music died.
Right.
The day the music died,
I
we
keep
were
all of my
singing. No,
I keep all of the bits and pieces of costumes that come my way. I'm like a black hole of, like, stupid memorabilia.
yeah,
If it can be used in a costume in any way and it comes within my reach, my grasp, or my influence, it's left here to be taken care of.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I've got, like, stage axes. I've got a bunch of weird stuff. Like, none of it goes together. I don't have a single suit of anything. I can do a decent Odin.
Well, I'm actually not booked this Halloween at the moment, unless something changes. So I don't have any plans to go out. My kids are with their mother, so that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to probably do a live stream for those of you that don't go out. It's a book.
You've been booked.
I've been booked. Thank you. Now pay my accountant
Where's your account?
right here.
That's what I thought. All right. So I got a couple of things I want to show you. Ow.
Please do. Enlighten me and spruce up this whole show.
Uh,
Knock the cobwebs at the corners. Lighten it up. Open some windows. Funky in here.
yeah. Blow some air through this joint. We're gonna do some things.
I'm going back to the movie. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Well, we'll miss you, Fab Daddy, but thanks for coming by. Sorry about the porn bombing, and see you next time.
Let's see. Can't do that. Can't do that. I don't trust. Hey, there's one. Do all of that one. He'd love it.
I see your cat, and I raise you a fish. That got awkward.
I see your fish. I raise you a fish.
Yeah. Everybody having a good time so far? I'm having a blast. Oh, what do we got here? I feel an explosion coming on.
MVTV's.
Oh, yeah.
Newest video.
Where is MVTV tonight?
I don't know, but last time I saw him, he was having a discussion with the gentlemen that were driving the cattle through here.
Ah.
If that's what's supposed to happen, if not.
Thanks, Fab Daddy. What movie are you watching?
There too. Is that a cattle dog running them? Is that Eddie over there?
Hey, Eddie.
Hold on, everybody, hold on. I'll get there. Just a minute. I know. Hold on. Was that Eddie over there too? Hold on, guys. Okay,
Eddie's
hold on. I'm coming. I'll open the gate for you.
Get along, little doggy.
Right.
Yeehaw.
I mean, he basically just discusses the fact that he's going to a gate for like 10 minutes.
Oh, there was a random cement truck there amongst that cattle.
All right. So apparently they are doing some kind of construction just on the other side of them, that their butte. And the cattle are being brought across a roadway that has gate on one side, fences on both sides, and a gate a couple of 100 yards away from one another.
Wow.
So using the dog to run the cattle to the proper gate, which is right next to the wrong gate, which is the gate he's going to go try and open.
Gotcha. So that they don't scare them with the machinery and whatnot.
For whatever reason. But yeah.
Nice. I've been making an effort to go by, and you guys should too if you get a chance. MVTV is trying to get his channel up off the ground and running. He makes some pretty interesting videos. So if you don't mind, support your community and go by and like his videos. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just make sure you hit that like button for him and get him out there, because he is putting in some considerable effort to put up some videos and be part of the YouTube community. So we should back him up a little.
I agree. I share about every fourth one.
I don't share because all I've got is Facebook, and most of them are fake anyway.
Right.
But I will mention you on my show, and that's something.
It's not nothing. You're putting on a little bit of weight here recently.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
Them cats are fucking doing it, ain't we?
Yeah, cats are killing it.
Yeah. Is that annoying? I mean,
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. No,
A little bit.
Effort to some of my good shit, and the fucking dog blows it all out the water.
Well, the comfort that I take in this is knowing that just about anybody likes cats.
Right,
but only certain special people like the effort that I put into the content that I make, because it's a very niche subject. So,
yeah.
Hey, April, back. How was everyone's week, she asks. Mine was long. I worked all week. Other than that, it was pretty fantastic. How about you? How was your week? And thank you, by the way, for the little surprise I got. I didn't expect that, and I appreciate it, and it came in handy. It went right into this old Mac right here. Now, the next time it comes on, it'll have a brand new graphics card and be able to be top of the line. So thank you for that.
Man, my man's like shaky. He
needs one of those sticks.
Well, he's just using whatever phone he happens to be carrying at the time. I think he has.
It's probably a flip phone.
I think you're right. I don't think you're wrong.
We should all get together and buy him one of those steady cam holders that you hold your camera with. Send it to him.
Man, if you sent that man some money, he wouldn't know what to fucking do with himself.
He has a book. I think he's a famous author.
He's got like 4 or 5 books actually. He's got one about being in a ghost town for 2 years. He lived in a ghost town in Oregon or something.
Interesting.
There's another one where he did like a photo layout of an abandoned mine somewhere in like Arizona or Utah or something.
Wow.
Random mine that he stayed at for like 8 months, just taking pictures and stuff. And he's got a few just outright actual books.
How did you? Well, I've got questions. How did a raccoon kill your wife's goldfish?
Oh yeah, no, they'll totally eat them things. Yes,
How
sir.
did they get in to the goldfish's?
It's an outside pond, I guarantee.
What do you call it? Not in an aquarium, right?
No, it's in the ground. I'm sure.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes more sense. I pictured a raccoon leaning over an aquarium, pulling out goldfish. Outside pond. Yeah, makes sense.
It's the pheasant.
Oh.
See, there it is, right there. I'm pretty sure this is what he's filming half his stuff with. Where's it at?
Boo chicka laka boo chicka laka. Oh, I saw it. He does have a stick. Look at there. How's he so shaky if he's got a stick?
Because he's walking with it on his hip.
Oh. I don't even have a stick.
I don't either. I've got a few things I can attach my phone to. They're either in my truck or.
Wait, they didn't eat the fish? They just killed them. Well, what the hell? Did goldfish taste bad or something? I thought raccoon loved fish. That's weird. But thank you for sharing that story. That's quite interesting.
Chances are they were in the process of killing them all, going to eat them all, but they kill them until they can't catch anymore.
And maybe they're just fun to catch.
That is also possible. And it's also possible that the raccoon came with food in its hands to try to, wash the food or whatever like they do. And the goldfish came up to try to eat the food. And, well, ipso facto, no, you ain't eating my food. 2 bites. See, there's his flip phone.
Yep, he is using a flip phone, isn't he? He must have a secondary camera, though, because how else would he be getting a picture of his camera?
He came up backstage the other night right before we were doing we were watching Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power.
Yep.
And he said he was being held captive by 2 hungry cats. Help.
Well, maybe he'll come up on here.
He never did get his microphone to work.
Oh.
And he also didn't know that there was a private chat over there. So he was literally using cue cards.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was actually a lot of fun because I was flashing back to like AP Club.
Yeah, I love MVTV. He's such a character.
He's definitely a character.
Hold
up, I can straighten something.
He's got a nice piece of property too. That's a bitchin' little farm.
Folks, he's like house sitting the cabin that's out there. I think he pays like $80 a month or something. Some low amount. I'm not sure there's power in that joint.
Wow.
I don't know. I know that he has a place nearby that he gets signal. I don't know how nearby. I know that if it's raining, he doesn't go there. Wherever it's at.
Well, he's making it out there on the frontier for sure.
Yeah, no, he was doing a exploration series where he was running across the prairie over here, and he came across was it a Johnson Farmall or a Jimson? What were they?
Mm-hmm.
All Farmall, and it was just sitting over there, dude. And he like went and poked around in it and stuff, and like I don't know what it is, walked away. So I told him, I was like, well, that's a 1922 something. Blah, blah, blah. I looked it up,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, looking at what's there, you're missing. The only thing you're missing is a couple of belts and some diesel.
Hell yeah.
Frank, that's something to come take it for a ride, dude.
Yeah, he's got lots of cool shit to look through.
He, after some suggestion, telephone, is he going fishing?
Don't know.
I think that's a hand planter. Ancient Akita hand planter.
Mm-hmm.
Maytag. No, that's a washing machine thing.
Washing machine. Yeah, that's a old roller style thing. We had one of those when I was a kid.
Yeah, there.
Our cousin Sandy got her hair caught in it and not like to have her head took off.
That thing. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I remember that day. I was about 4. And it was quite shocking to see her with her hair wrapped through that round them rollers and it pulling steady at her. I think it was Sandy. It might have been Tammy. I think it was Sandy.
Well, I'll tell you this much. He went and found the plat for all the wells and stuff. He was around out there looking for the different wells that were marked on the map. And I told him, about two days through the series, I was like, dude, there's a well between those wells.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what? I was like, yeah, no, those things are like 30 acres apart, 25 acres apart. There would be at least 1 or 2 covered wells between the big wells that you've got marked.
And that sounds like a dangerous thing to find.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. And what was funny about it was like a couple of days later, he found one of the collapsed smaller wells.
Wow.
Right? Like after I pointed it out to him, he started looking.
Lucky he didn't find it the old-fashioned way.
Mitts off.
Private property.
Yeah, he talks like that too.
I know.
It's great.
I know someone else that used to type the way they talk, and that was Aunt Levin. Remember her?
Yeah.
She would type with a southern accent. It's the only person I've ever seen do that.
It's the only time I heard keyboard clack out y'all.
Mm-hmm. Kind of interesting. So y'all tell us something about your family that's weird.
Oof.
That's pretty weird. You ever have anybody in your family that could type in a southern accent? Kind of strange. April used to be a stripper.
What kind of paint?
Polyester.
S'mores.
She didn't. I'm just teasing. I want to see if she heard me. She's not even paying attention. Ain't even paying attention.
I was thinking there should definitely be more s'mores in the world.
Yeah, that seems a little cheating there.
What does? I was thinking there should.
God damn it, Steve! How could you do this to me? Look, man, you just gotta calm down. Bitch, I will kill you. I will end you right now. Look, man, you can't take this shit personally. Bitch, I will personally kill you. God damn, man, what the fuck's wrong with Jerry? I ain't ever seen him like this. Oh, he thought he was going to get promoted because he's here early every day and always does a job with a smile on his face and runs the machine to the best of his ability. Let me guess, too valuable to production. Too valuable to production. Yes, sir. Poor soul.
Yep.
I hate factories.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I work for myself.
I hate them.
I'm my own man. Look at there. Look at that sexy feller. Handsome. It's a nice guitar, too. Brandon, tell me something about your family that's embarrassing. What? I think I just saw a dude that looks like a lady.
Dude looks like a lady.
I think everybody's checked out but you and me.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Hey, whatever, man. It's a slow, lazy Friday.
It says there's 4 people in here.
4 whole people?
I don't know how old they are, but they appear to be present. I don't,
Yes, sir. Conferring and press Jesus and Spider-Man. No, I didn't. Ah! I know. I'm just teasing you.
I've got film.
I'm trying to start rumors. Be like Hunter S. Thompson. You know, there's a rumor that guy's on drugs. Well, how long has that rumor been floating around? Well, I started it about 2 years ago. So.
That sounds like Robert Heinlein. I saw a decent show today. Watched the whole thing in one day.
Yes.
The Watcher.
The Watcher. I don't know what that is.
All right, so I can't Netflix or Amazon. One of them, Netflix, I think, made a Netflix original version of the Poison Pen Letters.
Ah.
You remember that story?
Vaguely.
That's a true story. That happened. It didn't happen the way it was in the book, and it didn't happen the way it is on the Netflix special. But an event happened that involved the highest levels of government in a small town, and the lowest bum on the street corner also was involved. Everyone in town took a turn at writing the poison pen letter to go with the rest of them, leaving it completely impossible to tell who wrote what, when, and why.
Yeah, I hear you. April just said, Jake, once again, you think too much. I don't recall you ever saying that to me before. So how could it be once again?
Maybe you should think a little harder and remember the times
I'm thinking.
And that's why you think too much.
I know. It's a problem. I know.
I learned it from my sister.
I have a funky relationship with my brain, and it does most of the thinking.
Most? Yeah, that's better than most, man. If my brain did more than 2 or 3% of my thinking, I'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest. I spend most of my time trying to convince my wife to come in my bedroom. 85-90% of my effort.
Yes. Yes, that's a good use of your time.
I don't see how I could possibly have anything better to do.
No. I like chasing each other around the room at night.
Found a new channel today.
Thank God. Glad you got rid of that fellow who's giving me the creeps. What the heck is that?
Is he giving you the creeps?
Kinda.
Yeah, me too. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying he looks a little creepy. No, I was in Living History's mystery live chat earlier, and this chick, not that one. This chick here, right?
That one.
Yeah, that one there.
Lorena Bonita.
Lorena
Bonita.
Bonita. Right. This is Brooklyn chick.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard her before.
She breezed through, and I was like, "Well, that's neat. She's got a channel. I'll have to check it out." But let's not get bopped for stream sniping either.
Right.
But her name's Brooklyn chick is what she calls herself.
Brooklyn chick.
And I went and checked out a little bit of her stuff. Basically, what she does is like a wandering hippie style live stream with a lot more people come through. Pretty much everybody who comes in the chat hops up on panel at some point in time or another.
Kind of like what we're doing here.
Yeah. Try.
We could use another panelist, by the way. If anybody's got a camera and a set of headphones and is not trying to porn bomb me and has a picture on their profile, come on, check us out. Have a conversation. Take your shoes off, set a spell. Smoke some cigarettes and eat some Captain Kangaroo. Or whatever. Captain Crunch. Watch Kangaroo. Captain Kangaroo. Never mind.
We're gonna do. Let me change that entirely.
Sasquatch and I have been delving into the new Lord of the Rings TV show called The Ring of Power, which should be called a string of TikToks.
Unrelated
TikToks.
Unrelated scenes begat by a madman.
Headed up by a manly chick named Galadriel, or as I like to call her, Girl Bosswin.
Or Guy Ladriel. Guy Ladriel.
Guy Ladriel, yeah.
Ladriel. Let me watch sugarcoat it.
She's got bigger nuts than I've got, that's for sure.
She carries them in a bag on her hip. I'm not sure whose they are.
Pretty mean with a sword too.
She's an elf. See that whole thing, dude. That entire freaking test or whatever it's supposed to be was ridiculous.
Yes. For more than one reason.
I think the dude's name is Random Guy or some random guy.
Random guy.
Is that him? He does movie reviews and he does like a mild political commentary, not anything. He doesn't have any controversy.
Nerdrotic, Angry Joe, drinker.
Like that. But this he's like 300,000 subs or so. Anyway, I really like to spin on things. And he had this quote that was so fucking great that I put it at the end of one of my shows. And it goes something like, there is no...
Forget all you know or think you know.
Okay. Now I don't know what I was saying.
Something a random guy said.
Yeah, no. He said something to the effect of there's no... All right, so the character needs the character arc, right?
Yes.
There's no growth from an individual who is, according to this show, a 50th level fighter, just whipping the puppy piss out of 15 0th level nobodies.
Yeah.
Not only is she an elf, she is a wizard and a basically a knight of the freaking realm. She, according to the show at least, is so vagina strong that she has taken over 3 locations so far.
And she always rolls natural 20s.
She's dating the DM. There you go. You just solved the whole problem, dude. You just you did it. You did it right there. Let's see. Is there
Hooters. And she has no Hooters.
Well, if she did, in the fight scene, she had them she had them taped down.
I know. She's wearing a guy's armor. Like the queen came by wearing armor, and her armor had boobs. And then she comes by, and she's wearing a flat-chested armor. And I'm like, that's a guy's armor. Why is she wearing a guy's armor? Because it's too heavy.
No, that's not it. It's not some random guy. It's hold on. I don't want to put this.
I don't want to put this on the wrong YouTuber.
Name is controversial. Come to think of it. So let me do that. I mean, no more controversial than mine.
Yeah.
No, stop that.
You have got to stop scaring me like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'd like to settle down, but they won't let me.
That's not him. That's the other dude. I always get them mixed up.
Give me all I've got coming to me. You can keep your retirement, your so-called Social Security. Big city, turn me loose and set me free.
This is Dragonette Transparency. She has sort of a news channel, I guess you could call it. She goes and gets bits from different police departments and
Yeah,
briefings and stuff,
kind of nice.
and from all over the country, not just local to her, or just her state or whatever. She she'd be sending them to me in my inbox.
Yes, sir.
Are you
Merle
in
Haggard? Gotta love some Merle. I love Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard and George Jones had the best voices in country music. Period.
Saw it.
You found him?
Yeah, he was there during the transition right there. When I clicked the back button, it popped up. It was in the list, and I was like, "Oh!" I just saw his little icon.
And also, Minty Comics. It looks like you're looking at my YouTube page.
Actually, dropping everything on my foot.
The other branded man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Merle Haggard.
Cinema Sins. Cinema Wins.
There's Galadriel.
Guy Ladriel.
Guy Ladriel.
Disparu. Dead Meat. No. There's this one channel that does body counts.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
And some of them are great, dude. Some of them count bodies that you didn't realize were happening because it doesn't actually show it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, Children of the Corn or something. One of the classic movies where there's like a body count of 36. Classically, it's been 36. For 29 years, it was 36. They counted 45 or something. And I was like, that's crazy. No, we've done this body count before. But then during the movie, there's a point where one chick climbs up into the attic and he turns on the lights and it electrocutes her. You never actually see it. All you see is him walk in, turn on the lights, and walk out. And I can't remember what freaking movie it is off the top of my head. I'll have to ask Jeff.
Yeah. What do you mean, Brandon? You have a doc also. Are you saying you have a documentary about Merle Haggard? If you do, please share. I'd love to see that. Or those movies, dude, where everybody dies and they don't really spell it out.
Yeah. Reservoir Dogs is probably the classic example of that.
Yeah.
People think someone gets away, but
I saw a Grindhouse movie when I was like 14. It was a zombie movie. It was none of the Walking Deads or anything like that, or Night of the Living Dead. It had a midget in it, and the midget was chewing on a girl's titty. That's the only thing I can remember about the movie. That and everybody on Earth dies. And I cannot remember the name of that movie to save my life. We saw it at the drive-in theater when I was about 14. And had a midget playing a regular kid. But it was like the guy was like 30 playing a 14-year-old. And he chewing on his mama's titty. And that's the thing I remember about the movie. It's a really bad movie. But I'd love to see it again just because I like bad movies.
Amanda started making a lick over here. Look at him. And picked up 15 subs.
Oh, Department of Corrections. Okay. Are you saying you've been in prison?
Branded. Gotcha. Dude, the very first channel that I took an interest in and helped grow was a women's prison stories channel.
Really?
She now does she's actually monetized on TikTok and might be a Twitch streamer. And every now and then she pops back up in YouTube and immediately disappears again.
There used to be quite a few drive-in movies about women's correctional facilities, if you know what I'm saying.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, if you ever decide to do an avatar and do a faceless channel where you tell your prison stories, it could be therapeutic and it could be profitable in the long run, but you can't go into it with that in mind. You
I
tell
understand. I don't know if I'd want to release that kind of information about myself.
Well, that's why I'm saying you do an unbranded channel. And branded after the fact. You can collect after you're done with it and done whatever you're gonna do with it. I'm not talking about an APS situation. I'm talking more of a women's prison talk situation where she created a fully monetized channel, utilized that channel to finance her TikTok career, and carried it into a whole nother bailiwick.
Well, I've only got the one experience, but I'm pretty sure I could drag it out, make a story out of it.
Oh, I got a good one. I got a great story. It's a good story. I've never been in prison, but I did get put in jail a couple of times. And locally, our jail cells are actually in a prison. So it's one of those fishbowl jobs, right?
I've been in the jail that is no longer there, the one that was a jail, like from the old West.
Right.
Remember that one up on the hill there as you're going into town?
It's not there.
No, it's not there anymore. They tore it down shortly after I left.
Yeah,
but I was in that jail.
Yeah.
And it was rough.
I
like
got
a dungeon.
I got picked up for possession of marijuana. And yes, indeedy, I was in possession of that marijuana. That is true. But the real reason I got arrested was because that man was absolutely pissed with me because he had questioned me 19 ways to Sunday, and I had answered every question he asked. But he never asked if I had weed. He asked me if I had guns. He asked me if I had knives. He asked me if I had all kinds of different things. Whole list of things, but nowhere in the list was there the question of whether or not I had weed. He then asked if there was weed in the car, and it was not in the car. It was in my pocket.
Which was in the car?
Which was not in the car.
I
was outside the car at this point. We were well past that. And so eventually he gets all frustrated, tears the back, like the trunk area of this car entirely apart, searching it, right? Never does find the weed there. Eventually finds the weed in my pocket and said, I've been lying to him the whole time. I said, dude, I'm going to tell you straight. It is not my fault if you ask the wrong questions.
That's right.
You are a moron. And he got real mad. And then he called the old guy who wasn't even deputized to come and take me to the jail. And they had to cut the fucking cuffs off of me because nothing ever works around me. I'm a walking technical issue. But when they tried to take my picture, the damn computer crashed, and they had to do my fingerprints and ink, like real ink and stuff. They couldn't do the electronic version of it. Then they went and put me in the cell, and when they did, like 2 minutes after they put me in the cell, this really small black woman comes up, knocks on the cell, and is like, "Did you want to talk to me?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she knocked on the door knocked on the cell with a pack of cigarettes. Bap, bap, bap. "Do you want to talk to me?" Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and told her a story about this goat I never owned that did things that never happened.
Yeah.
2.5
Got you a cigarette though, didn't you?
I got me half a pack of cigarettes up my sleeve and smoked half a pack sitting there. What was funny to me is she was so absolutely enamored by the whole process of the story. She didn't put me back in the cell till they came and made her. Like they had to come and they bumped on the door a couple of times and she was like, "Yeah, I've got him talking."
Brandon said, "I'm not proud of my story, but I'm glad God got my attention. And the good part was my wife married me the day I was released. God bless her."
Sweet. That is sweet.
I'd like to hear your story someday, Brandon. Anytime you're ready to talk about it, I'm ready to listen.
Well, that's what I was saying. If things are too touchy and too personal, you can just do another channel that you have an avatar with. Just hijack some picture somewhere. We'll monkey it up, and you sit down and just tell the story.
I can do that, but I can tell you this right here, right now, with my face in the screen and everything. If you happen to find yourself in Georgia, do not, I repeat, do not run from the state troopers. They don't think it's funny.
And when they flash their blue knights, they're not challenging you to a race.
Right. Notice that my face is a little crooked? He didn't think it was funny. Anyway, I think you remember that day.
I have a vague memory of being stuck in a old camper trailer thing.
Yeah, I was headed to you when he got me.
With Monica.
Yeah.
2 days till somebody decided to check on us.
Ooh, I'm sorry about that. Wasn't my fault. Well,
But
it was my fault, but it was indirectly my fault.
It wasn't. I don't blame nobody. That was a very, very poignant ride to that girl's house with my mama though. When I did get picked up, and I was like, "Can we take her home?" Pop said no and left.
Oh,
because he didn't. I didn't know she was there when I went over there, and then I got stuck there. I had no cell phone, but no phone. I was 4 miles from absolutely fucking anything.
yeah.
Like
Which in Georgia is like 20 miles.
uphill in both directions. What I'm talking about.
I mean, we're from back in the woods, folks. We're so far back in the woods, they have to telegraph sunshine.
Yeah, right. They still predict television.
Yeah. You have to break dawn with a billy club.
They always have more players. You can't win that street side fighting with the cops, man.
Well, he let me know that he didn't like the fact that I ran from him with a nightstick.
Yeah, once you run, they pretty much beat the shit out of you. It's fine.
Yeah.
They shoot you in some cases.
What makes it so bad is I had gotten away from him, and then my dumb ass pulled over on private property thinking he wouldn't come back there looking for me. And so I basically gave up. If I'd have kept going, he'd have never got me. But he got me. And he was proud of it. Oh, this guy again. Brenda said, I tried taking on the cops, but it didn't end well for me either.
No, they have more players. Forever they have more players.
Yeah, and they've already planned out the chase.
Yep.
You're just making it up as you go along. They've already figured out where you're going to go and how you can get there and how they can cut you off.
That's so weird. I can't unmute this.
Unmute.
Sup, chick? Let me see you do it.
I want to see it.
I want to see you do it.
Come on, baby.
That's it. That's it. Get it, girl.
I'll never have kids again.
I don't know, man. She threw some hip into that one. She got it. She did it.
She's damn proud of herself of that one.
I can't unmute it. It's not there.
That reminds me of a conversation I had with my boss the other day. We were talking about these guys that are dressing like girls and the transgender movement and all that stuff, and people demanding that you call them by their gender and treat them like their gender and all that stuff. And I said, the reason we still have this problem is because we don't actually treat women like men. They get all the good stuff. You know, they get whatever men get, whatever you think is a good thing, but they don't have the inherent danger that comes with being a man. For example, if you and I are in a room together and I'm running my mouth, you will put me in my place. And there'll be a standoff between the two of us. And in that moment, there is imminent danger to one of us. Whoever backs down becomes the beta male, and whoever is victorious is the alpha male, and then everything works from then on out. That's how being a man works in the real world. And we don't do that with those people. We let them do whatever they're going to do. That goes for feminists too, by the way, that are claiming to be treated equally.
Yeah,
they don't really want that.
They don't want equality.
No.
They want superiority.
Right. And I'm not saying anything about them. I'm just making an observation, so don't take this the wrong way. I'm not downing feminists or transgendered people. I'm just saying a fact. They aren't treated like the gender they are pretending to be or are in their own mind, whatever, however you look at it. And if they were, it would stop happening. And I do believe that.
Pontoon Jody. She has about 30 people go fishing with her just about every night.
Really?
This one.
There's a chick in Florida that fishes in a bathing suit. She's very sexy, but she catches some mean fish.
That's
But
ladies
anyway,
out there fishing. You know.
I don't know what brought that up. I just thought I'd share it. Conversation I was having. But apparently I'm right, because Brandon says that's a fact, Jack. When you get popped in the mouth once or twice, you learn to know your place.
That's true.
I think that should be prerequisite for everyone. I think everybody on Earth at the age of about 15 should be popped in the mouth twice. Really hard. Because it puts a new perspective on the world that you didn't necessarily grasp before that.
If you haven't managed to be popped in the mouth at least twice by the time you're 15, you're not living right.
That's right. But being popped in the mouth teaches you respect. I know that because I've been popped in the mouth a few times, and I know when to keep my mouth shut. And I don't go around blabbing to everybody and demanding that they treat me with any particular behavior, because I know better. And that's all I'm saying. Knowing better is a big, important thing about growing up. Brandon says, my wife can outfish most guys, and men love her for fish, love her fish, fear her. Yeah.
Men love her, fish fear her.
I got you. I read that wrong.
My wife wouldn't know what to do with a fish waiting on a plate with at least 3 types of utensils to eat it.
Yeah. Both our sons got popped early. They walk with respect. Amen, brother. I agree with you 100%. And I've been popped a few times, and I know when a man's talking, you listen. Period.
Mysteries.
Why did he act that way? Because he's a fictitious character that had a different writer. The Enforcer. Mysteries of the Vampire Skeleton. Buried in Ireland.
Right. Some of them you can show, some of them you can't.
Blair Witch. You can't show that one. It's a terrible movie, and not in a good way.
It's the correlative learning interpretation of it. Are you familiar with correlative learning?
I've probably done it.
All right. So, hold up. Yeah, you can see it on the screen. Correlative learning.
Yes.
Right? All right. So you watch the Nerdrotic things where he breaks down a particular plot line or whatever. He gets down into the nitty gritty. All right. Well, correlative learning goes at it a bit differently. His main doohickey is he's from the filmmaking school of filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
He actually wants to make decent films.
Right.
And so he goes back and he takes apart like the Alien franchise, and where the first Alien gets things right and the second Alien gets things wrong, and the third Alien kind of recovers a little bit but doesn't quite execute so well. And most of it didn't have anything to do with the special effects. It had to do with how the story was told.
Right.
Rather than showing, in some cases they told, and in other cases they would show something that was very shocking next to something that was completely mundane. So
Right.
like the alien creeping through the ship when he walking through like the med bay or what the hell ever. It's a perfectly normal med bay. There's nothing out of place and nothing wrong. It's just that there's an alien in there. It's like this juxtaposition of like really ordinary crap right next to something outlandish.
Well, the Alien franchise in particular is very master class in movie making. That first movie, you almost never see the alien. It's a very quick glimpse of him one time, and that's it. And that whole thing is built on suspension, suspense.
Right.
The whole thing. And that's what sells that movie, and it works as good today as it did in the 70s when it was made.
That is true.
And the second movie is superior in a lot of ways, but it's not a horror flick. It's an action movie, and that's the difference. And every movie in that genre is a different genre entirely, or every movie in that franchise.
Right. Well, yeah, no, you're right. You're exactly right on that. Every movie in that franchise is a totally separate thing. Like
Mhm.
the very first one is more of an existential horror than
Yeah,
anything.
it's a horror flick. It's Alfred Hitchcock all the way.
Yeah, it's straight out of the freaking Birds or
Mhm.
Psycho. I mean, you could just replace the monster with a serial killer and put them in a Boston apartment building, and it would be just as freaking terrifying.
Yes. The second movie is an action film with a war bend to it.
It's
And the
kinda
third
like
movie is a prison movie.
kinda like the way yeah, it's a breakout film, right,
Mhm.
with the monster twist. It's kinda like the way they screwed up Rambo. Like, the first one was
Yes.
anti-war, like, to the core. If you go back and look at it, it was about how messed up it was, a expose on PTSD, the
Yes.
trauma left behind by war and the damages done by the people
And
who
had
fought.
nothing to do with Rambo the character.
Right, no, it was all about the damaged individual that returned from Vietnam or Korea or wherever. I think it was Korea.
Rambo and Friday the 13th have that in common because the first movie in Friday the 13th did not feature Jason at all.
Yeah, no, he also the very first Halloween film.
Yeah.
Right. It is Mike Myers, but it's also the fact that you don't ever actually see him until the very final minutes, the
Right.
very final seconds. You realize, wait a second, it's just a big idiot, basically. But after that, it becomes, like you said, more like an action type genre thing.
Yeah. Have a good night, Brandon. Enjoyed you being here, buddy.
Much love, brother. Don't let the man get you down.
Take care of the blue dog. But yeah, Friday the 13th and Alien Rambo are both started on a one idea, and then Hollywood gets their hooks in it and it makes it a completely different thing and completes the franchise with a different character. And in this case, Rambo was a different character in the first movie than he is in the second and the next few movies.
In the first movie, for one thing, in the first movie, you have a reliable narrator. In the
Right.
second movie, you don't. Um, in the second movie, at the very beginning, doesn't it say something about being taken from the reports of such and such and blah blah blah?
Seems like it.
That this never happened and doesn't exist and isn't a thing.
Maybe. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've seen those movies. But I do remember the stark contrast in the character because I was thinking the first guy was all about not fighting anymore.
Very non-confrontational.
He wanted to go home.
He was so non-confrontational that most of the killings that happened are not done by him. It's
All
done
of them.
by
All of them. He didn't kill anybody in that movie. The only person that died in his presence fell out of a helicopter for being an asshole.
right. Now he did set some trap. Wait, did they die?
Nobody died.
He actually died. He just injured people.
He
That
injured
can't
people, but he didn't kill anybody. And he blew the whole town up at the end, but nobody died. But the second movie, he's this like master killer that can survive anything, and it just keeps getting worse. Every movie, he's more and more black ops, whatever, can do anything, kill you
Right.
with a stick and a piece of duct tape and a chicken.
The MacGyver of murder.
Yeah. And an endless supply of explosive arrows. And for some reason, a rocket launcher that came out of nowhere.
I'm bigger than you now.
Oh, cool. You're bigger than me in real life. That's okay.
There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so we've seen all but the last two episodes of The Rings of Power.
Yep.
And we've come to the conclusion that they basically got a whole bunch of money from Amazon and then cheaped out on the whole thing.
Yep.
So they spent $25 million
Jesus.
They spent $25 million making a fanfic written by teenage wannabes
That are not fans.
that wanted to write a totally different story.
This whole show is like they read Wikipedia about Lord of the Rings and then made a movie based on Wikipedia. They didn't read the book.
I don't think you're wrong. You're definitely correct on the not reading the book part.
They got things in the wrong place. They got characters with the wrong attributes.
They have. There's so much, man. There's so much. There's. I heard somebody say something about the Balrog coming out of the plot hole area. Arya Stark left in the fucking jumped out of that same goddamn pothole.
Mm-hmm.
And plot holes have just been overlooked by the entire movie industry. They just don't care. Like you can have phantom MacGuffins, blank plot holes, completely void sections of script. Nobody cares.
And then they have scenes like Galadriel is swimming in the middle of the ocean, and out of the whole ocean, she runs into a little boat that just happens to be being attacked by a sea monster that she can beat in the whole ocean. And nobody even knows why she's there.
This character has no arc. She was the bestest ever. The very first scene when she was a child, she was way smarter than her friends, and they beat her up because she was so smart. She was so cool they couldn't tolerate her presence.
Fab Daddy says, "You guys are still on?" Yeah, we usually go till about 10 o'clock.
You have no life, none. I could be on other panels, but it's no
mine's
more.
Better.
This one's just as good. I get to stare at the little screen and watch things move around and say stuff with people. It works. I really want to be negative, and I don't know why. I think it's because I haven't drank anything in a few days.
Well, be negative.
I'm just going to be negative about movies.
Just
when
be negative.
The last time you saw Inner Space?
Say what?
When was the last time you saw Inner Space?
Oh, Lord. It's been a while, but I love that movie.
That's one I don't think I have.
You hadn't seen it?
I don't think I have it.
Oh, you don't think you have it?
Seen it, yes.
Yes, that's a great movie. And it holds up pretty good.
That's what I was fixing to say. This is another one of those movies like Rocky Horror Picture Show that was regularly rented by soccer moms, right? And so we would have 2 copies or 3 copies in the store, and they were always rented out. And if they're gone more than 2 weeks, you have to check them when they come back in, or else you'll end up with one of the things you had going down earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they're like I said, if they're gone for more than 2 weeks, they have to be checked. And soccer moms really loved that movie. Well,
it's got Dennis Quaid in it. Big dick swinger.
And that was the reason I didn't like that movie until it had been a couple of years since I saw it.
Yeah.
Since I'd seen it, and it came on like late night one night. It was like Inner Space, and I was like, but I didn't turn it because I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I've encountered the fact that some movies are excellent, but not like every day.
Right.
I mean, we're not talking about The Doors or The Last Outlaw here.
Right.
I mean, I could watch The Last Outlaw if I was going to a deserted island and I was allowed to bring one movie with me. It might be The Last Outlaw.
I hear you. Yeah, Inner Space was a pretty special movie. I saw it with my mom in theaters, and we laughed the whole time. It was so funny.
I haven't seen Halloween Ends yet. I watched about 10 minutes of it, realized what I was watching, and immediately walked out of the room because I didn't know what it was. So I was like, that's Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, wait. I turned around and just turned my back, walked away. I won't see it. I'll watch it when I get the chance.
The only thing I know about Halloween Ends is evil dies tonight.
I think they're going a little bit too hard on that Baphomet concept where
Baphomet.
They're trying to equate the evil of her being stalked and terrorized her entire life with the negatives of basic manhood.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing it tastefully, but it's still there. But then again, that's kind of what the first movie was about. So I can't really fault it too hard. I mean,
Well,
she
not
was
necessarily
start
manhood. The guy was crazy off his rocker.
start raving batshit crazy, and it was that she was escaping in the first movie. But from a certain point of view, the type of crazy he was a specifically male type of crazy.
Well, yeah, most crazy is. We're the guys that fight wars, remember? Our brains tend to break often.
Sure. And explosively.
That being said, there is a such thing as a female serial killer. We just don't have as many movies about them.
That's true. What's your favorite serial killer story?
I'm not into serial killer stories.
You don't have a particular one that caught your attention at any point?
Mm-mm.
Son of Sam.
Mm-mm.
The reason I say Son of Sam is his neighbor's dog told him to do that crap. And that's just start raving batshit crazy from the floor up. There's no redemption there.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Manson. Because he's the only serial killer that never actually killed anybody. But he got everybody else to do it for him.
Well, actually, no. He did kill one person.
Did he?
Was convicted of manslaughter in Texas, like the mid-50s or something. But it was manslaughter. It wasn't murder.
Yeah, Halloween 2. It was either 2 or 3. One of them was about the season of the witch. Had nothing to do with anything to do with any of the movie franchise.
I forgot about that. Fuck you for reminding me.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, they just went left, you know. We're going to name it Halloween because it has pull.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to star Jamie Lee Curtis, and it ain't going to be about Mike Myers. It's about a bunch of kids.
It was an early narrative grab.
No, what they wanted to do originally, this was before the fame of Friday the 13th and all that. They wanted to make an anthology where every series, every entry into the series was a different movie. And
Right.
it did not work because that movie flopped.
Well,
So they went back to Mike Myers the next movie.
It's not Creepshow.
No, it's not. Corporate takeover with masks, huh? I'm stretching my memory here. I don't really know if I'm right about this, but I think that the only connection that movie had with the original Halloween was the psychiatrist was in it. The one that was Mike Myers' psychiatrist when he was a young boy.
Yeah.
That was like from his perspective, but it was a whole different story.
That's another one with an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to get fed up with this unreliable narrator crap. Because you'll come across a perfectly serviceable series only to get to the end and realize, wait a second, this whole show's been going down with an unreliable narrator, and therefore the show you thought you just watched is not what you just watched.
Right, because it never happened.
I don't have a problem with it when it's done well, but if it's just there to say, look how great she is, that's all it does. And it does nothing for the story, and that's the big twist that she's great.
I sense you're talking about a certain She-Hulk of a problem.
Well, yeah. I think the people that made the Rings of Power really wanted to be working on She-Hulk. Like they really wanted to be working on She-Hulk, and so they just wrote She-Hulk scripts and put Galadriel in this place and dunked on every man in the room.
Yep. The woman who heads up She-Hulk before it was released went on television and told people, I'm not a fan of the comic book. I never thought it was any good. It was way too serious. Why would you say something like that?
Wait. You mean to tell me that you remember the explanation I gave before I said Black Panther might be one of the better movies in the last 20 years?
Yes.
All right. Do you take it as a valid explanation, even if you don't agree with it?
Yes.
Like, okay. I'm starting to get that kind of vibe from She-Hulk because she was also an anti-comic, the whole build of that comic was literally smashing the patriarchy with feminine rage. Literally was the whole point behind it. It's
That's
hilarious.
kind of the whole point of She-Hulk.
Except she's not using feminine rage, she's using the She-Hulk powers.
Yes.
And that's not what it was about. What made her special as a superhero was not her superhero abilities, but her heroic capability of not being the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
When she needed to stop doing that crap, she could. Of course, she could just go take a tank and beat you over the head with it. I mean,
well, the comic was not feminist at all. It was a very good comic book, from what I remember.
It was a joke on feminism, on the whole feminist movement, because She-Hulk was not a feminist. She was a trad wife. She literally wanted to get married, have kids, a dozen or so, a whole soccer team, whatever, have a good man in her life. But then she gets the whole bug of being her own woman and being dominant and that whole thing. And then she becomes the She-Hulk. And it's like layer on layer of travesty, and what would ordinarily be a trad woman's life, suddenly she has no choice but to live on the fringe of society, making her an inarticulate outcast, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of gymnastics, but I think it's worth the trip once you get to the actual plot in the series and stuff.
Fab Daddy, I haven't watched it either, but I saw the previews, and in the previews, she could do everything Hulk could do, only better and faster and immediately without any training. And that was enough for me. I lost interest immediately.
I laughed so hard I cried.
Oh my God. This seems to be a reoccurring theme these days. I mean, they've ruined Star Trek beyond recognition. They've ruined everything with this woke feminism bullshit.
Well, the feminism is not too terrible. I can kind of at least see where they're coming from on it, right?
I can see where the original feminists were coming from, and I'm behind them on that. This new thing is not feminism. It's like Nazism with a vagina.
It's militant feminism. That's what it is. It is militant feminism. They don't just want to have equivalent spaces. They don't want equivalent laws. They want to come in and usurp your space.
Right.
For their own
benefit. Take it away from you.
Right. You can't have a men's club because it has to have women in it.
Right. Even the Masons
has to have women in it. And
now it does.
Just even the Masons, I'm saying they destroyed the Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah.
The only organization in America capable of standing up to the church.
That's a shame. My question was always, why would you want to be a Boy Scout? It's in the name. Don't you have Girl Scouts? What was wrong with that?
They like cookies. That's not all they do.
Yeah.
That was basically a trad wife training camp.
The last series I watched was Beavis and Butthead, says Fab Daddy. I saw that new one. It's pretty good. It's like Beavis and Butthead Do America, only in space. What you talking about, Willis?
It's part of your DNA, right?
Yeah. I have my manhood. It's part of my DNA. Well, yeah. That's the whole idea. Go ahead.
I listened to a weird. It wasn't TED Talks, but it was done to look like TED Talks, and it was this woman explaining how there doesn't have to be a male of the species because the Y chromosome is just a mutant X chromosome that doesn't serve the purpose it's supposed to serve, and that's why there are men and women and not just androgynous. What did she call them? Monocoats or monocytotes or something like that? I can't remember. Basically, we would all be wandering around creating clones of ourselves as children.
That's retarded.
Absolutely ridiculous. I was like, no. I'm not even certain it was a serious thing. I may have been trolled on that one. I'm not sure, but
No, I've seen some TED Talks that were pretty out there.
she seemed really genuine on the idea that we have no need for men since we've discovered the ability to use a bone marrow stem cell to create a gamete, and they can now reproduce without the need for men at all. And I'm like, but you're just producing a male gamete. I'm sorry, you're never going to get away from that point.
The problem with people that think like that, and there are a lot of people that think like that, but they're indoor cats. Here's the problem. They have never thought about what makes the sewer work, or how roads got here, or what keeps this facade of civilization at bay. Because if you leave a place for 10 years, nature will consume it, takes it over immediately.
It starts, yeah.
So the only thing that keeps that at bay are all the men out there making this impossible infrastructure stay functional. The only reason bridges don't fall, the only reason skyscrapers are still standing is because of men. The only reason you can flush your toilet is because of men. And they don't think about those things. The only reason we don't all speak Chinese or Russian is because of men.
And the
when
reason
they learn that,
the Russians do speak Chinese and Russian is also because of men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that don't make no sense, but it's true.
When they learn those things, and unfortunately, the way they learn it would be the hard way, they will no longer wish for men to not exist.
And furthermore, when you reproduce in that fashion of producing a male gamete from female, ooh, it itches. It itches so bad. I'm so sorry.
Stick your finger in it and wiggle it.
God. You can only produce females.
Right. And the problem with that is, if this woman had done any basic, biology studies, is that after about 3 times, the reproduction of the clone starts deteriorating to an alarming rate, to where she will have 3-headed babies that have an IQ of 2.
Well, I don't think this is any manner of cloning. They're talking about not using the donor female,
Right.
would not be the same female that's carrying the child. You're not,
And also not using male sperm to get the job done, which is cloning. And it can be done once, maybe twice. After that, it don't work anymore.
I've
See,
seen
God's a
multiple-
pretty wise guy.
I know what that shit's all about. I've seen
Yeah.
multiple.
I have too. I've worked with a couple of them, Fab Daddy, and they're quite functional. But that's the exception, not the norm.
I have exceptions.
Every spectrum has what you would call call outs, special cases. There are feminine men, there are masculine women, there are totally masculine men and totally feminine women, and there is some in between. They're still male and female. They still have parts to play in the hierarchy of the harmony of things. And if they don't play those parts, the harmony stops harmonizing. And that's bad. In the music of life, we all need to be playing the same chords, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm of the opinion that it's a self-defeating prophecy of its own. These people in general, and I'm not specifying any particular group, but they all seem to be nucleated around the concept of non-reproduction.
Yes, or sterilizing their own.
Why even have the conversation? Wait a generation and we
It's
win.
gone. Well, that's how
We
you
win.
know that the world is young, because we still have these people. They haven't all been bred out of existence yet.
Beyond that, that's also the reason when you hear that they're after your children, that's why.
Yes.
This culture, their culture, that culture cannot persist beyond a single generation, maybe two,
Yep.
because accidents happen.
I agree. And
Bobby
I'm
Jones-
also a firsthand knower of this problem. They got mine. Music is subjective, but there are rules in music that cannot be breached. So it's only subjective to the listener, not to the player.
Agreeable. I don't know what to do with you. What do we do?
What do you mean?
I don't know. We could watch Dogma.
I don't really like that movie.
Kevin Smith was on a show about 10 years ago talking about how much he hated He-Man. And then they made him do a He-Man movie, do a He-Man show.
Well, you see how that worked out.
It worked out just the way he wanted.
Then why was he on YouTube crying about it?
Because he lost everything in the process. He tried to do it. He tried to be snarky and sell out in the process, and instead, no one bothered. They only hate watched. I still haven't seen it.
I saw the first half of the first season, and I didn't watch the rest of it because I saw what they were doing. Literally, He-Man was in the first half of the first episode, and that's it. The rest of it was Teela and her girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
Of diverse nature.
The name of the freaking show is He.
Yep.
Man.
And the fans loved him for that reason, like Conan.
Or She-Ra.
Or She-Ra.
Something about She-Ra. I mean, she didn't exactly run around smacking folks with that sword she carried. She just carried the sword because it looked cool.
Yeah. I loved that show when I was growing up. It never even crossed my mind what these people are thinking on a whole different level than me.
Right? I don't get it. Now, I have certain standards, right? If you present to me as a certain thing, I will respond that way without any effort at all because effort has been expended to portray a certain thing, right? So, as long as it's obvious,
yeah,
and I don't have to guess about it, it's fine, right?
It's a very precarious line, but you're absolutely right.
When I have to start working in like a parallel narrative in my mind to keep you straight in my head, no, go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
Yep.
No.
Yep. I feel exactly the same way. Here's the thing. It's a fine line because I don't care in the slightest what you do with yourself, how you do it, what you want to be. I'll even go along with it. The problem comes is when you tell me that in no uncertain terms that I have to change my reality and alter what I've learned over the 50 years that I've been alive to fit your made up reality, or else I'm the bad guy.
Well, even if it is your truth, that doesn't make it anyone else's truth.
I don't go around asking people to believe what I believe. I don't even do that. I preach the word of God and I don't even try to convert people. You know, I'm just putting the news out there. And if you want to hear it, you'll stick around and listen to it. But I don't tell you that if you don't believe there's a God, then you are the bad guy and you should go to hell. I would never say that.
You're probably right, though. Yeah.
It may be right, but it's not my place to judge. It's also not my place to alter your reality. If you want to alter your reality, that's fine. It's not my place to do it. Know what I mean?
Yeah. I had to find a old hunting cabin that had porn in it.
Dude, there was a tree in our neighborhood with a hole in it. And we had to learn about that tree from the older kids in the neighborhood. Then we had to sneak out of the house when our parents weren't looking and trek to the tree, pull out this matted old magazine with pages all stuck together, and maybe get to see a boob. It took a week to get it done. That was pornography when I was a kid. And then you had to guard that secret with your life. and pass it on to the next generation.
Well, by the time I came around, there were no more longer porn in that hole. There was just various smoking devices.
Yeah, that too.
Bongs.
Or worse was the guy, the neighborhood that had the creepy old man that you would go get candy from, and he would introduce you to the finer points of life.
Never met that guy.
That guy lived in my neighborhood.
I
was wise, hip to it, but I knew who he was. And I saw him in action.
That's terrifying.
That's the 70s. Hitchhike at your peril, because you are going to put out. You know what I'm saying?
Rules of the road.
You're either going to put out or get out, one or the other.
Nas, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
That's right. That's the world we grew up in, kids. You want to talk about being triggered? Come on.
Yeah. I had a conversation with somebody the other day that was trying to argue with me about whether or not offense was a physical thing, right? Was the thing that could be given.
No.
I can attempt to offend you. I could do everything in my power. I could say any number of things, and any number of them may offend you.
But it don't have to.
But I can't make it offend you. I can just keep taking shots until I get there, and then what happens. But
right.
They were trying to say that words were actual violence.
No.
That can cause actual harm. I said, no, the worst I can do is say that final thing that tips you over, but it would not be my fault. It would just be that final thing.
Yeah. Words are so not violence that we had a nursery rhyme that taught us that when we were kids. Are you ready? Say it with me, guys. 5, 6, 7, 8. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Right. I have a different philosophy on it. I have the opinion that the only sounds coming from an individual that have any meaning whatsoever is truth. Everything else is as the grass through the reeds, as the wind through the reeds. My bad. In other words, somebody's over there spouting bullshit. It might as well be wind blowing through a knothole.
Yeah, it means nothing.
Nothing at all. It has no bearing on reality whatsoever. It is entirely fiction and should not be taken into account when making decisions.
I have a theory. The reason we're about to go to nuclear war with Russia is because somebody at the top realized that this generation had no problems. So they make up problems. So whoever's at the top decided to give them a problem. Now they got something to worry about other than themselves. It's just my theory. Could be right.
Hey, that's a good one. AOC did something stupid.
Really? What'd she do? Nancy Pelosi did too.
She had a, what do they call it? She did the town hall event.
Oh, no.
And when she showed up, 3 things became immediately evident. I'm actually having trouble finding this. Interesting. I was hoping Mr. Reagan would do a bit on it, but he's been MIA for a while. I don't know where he's at. But anyway, there was about 27 people total there. It was held in what looked like a high school gym, and you had enough room while she was speaking to play a half-court game of basketball.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't even count the fact that, as far as I could tell, all the bleachers down near the floor were all pushed up against the wall, and everybody was sitting in the actual upstairs bleachers, and there wasn't a whole lot of them. And the ones that were there were mainly upset that she went to Washington and became an immediate Washington elite. As if she was a hired actress to portray that role.
She was. They held auditions for her job. She is a hired actor. She was a bartender before she got that gig. No joke.
Right. No, I was a skinny kid too, and I learned that my mouth was the most dangerous thing I ever owned.
Absolutely.
Was far, far more dangerous than most other people my age.
Yep. I learned to chew vigorously with both feet in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. I did. Yeah, no, man. Wenzel was one of the worst ones for burning you hard. If you say something even remotely off base, he'd catch you before you had a chance to realize you'd said something wrong.
Yeah, I get my wit from him because he was basically my stepdad for a while. He's my uncle, but I lived with him when I was a kid. And that man had the sharpest wit I've ever seen. I mean, he would cut you to the bone and never even crack a smile.
Right. He'd let you do it and dry as a bone too. Like it wasn't even a joke.
My coworker says she has a nice rack. Oh, AOC.
AOC, look, I wouldn't kick her out of the bed unless she wanted to fuck on the floor. But listen,
I would recommend she didn't smile.
I'll even take the crazy eye as long as she doesn't have a knife. Keep the blades away from her. We're good.
She has got the gangliest teeth I've ever seen. Look like a horse.
Well, she is a Democrat.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. That's right. Nancy Pelosi had a film crew follow her around on the 6th all day.
Yeah.
And that came out today.
Yeah. Apparently, she was all prepared for a full documentary to take place for an event that wasn't planned, wasn't executed, and didn't occur.
Right. And also, she threatened to punch the president, which you can't do. That's a federal offense.
Okay.
She's not going to get any trouble for it, but still. A guy threw a shoe at George Bush. People still don't know where he is.
Of treason. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. I saw it when it happened. It was on TV. Her daughter has been doing documentaries for 20 years. Well, it was her daughter that's the film crew that was following her around. But nonetheless, on a day she didn't have any clue anything was going to happen and was recorded saying, "This is what I've been waiting for somebody to trespass." Quote, unquote.
As if she had a schedule to keep.
As if they planned the whole thing. If.
I'm not.
There's no way they could have done that.
Going there, dude. You're not going to get me started on that. I saw a bit of that video and I went to picking apart details in it. And it just didn't stop.
No, it's crazy what they did. And I saw most of it because I was watching it because of the Trump rally. And anything we say about that will get us kicked off of YouTube. So, it never happened.
That's why I stopped.
I had 2 videos yanked off of YouTube last week and the week before for mentioning it.
I have political people who come on as guests, but I don't get political in those discussions, at least until after dark. And I'm not a highly political person in the first place, but I'm also not a moron.
Right.
And
I'm one of those people that were pushed into being political because of the bullshit. I just can't take it. I prefer not to be political.
Right? You spend all of your time trying to lead me down the garden path, and I'm going to go see what's lying behind the flowers.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't like the leash that the mainstream media wants to put on people. And I keep seeing that effect in people, like people that I love, that I really dearly love, except they only ever watch CNN.
Dude, it is totally a cult. And they're in it.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I can't. All right. But I'm going to repeat. There is this moderate middle out there that is not a part of that. They are perfectly rational people, and you can have conversations with them if they can get the media out of their mouth.
Right. That's the thing, though.
Yeah. If their only talking points come from what the TV has to say, then there's really no room to talk.
Right. Because all that's all hyperbolic, all made up, dramatized bullshit. I'm not saying some of it isn't real, but it's all bent in one direction or the other. Even Fox News does it. And CNN is under new management now, so it remains to be seen which direction they're going to lean. But to be sure, they're going to lean in a direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got an outro plan for this show?
Say what?
You have an outro plan for this show?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's over in a few minutes.
All right.
It's already over, but, you know, it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
We're 32 minutes past the hour.
Yep.
That's how long we've been bullshitting.
Yep.
Are we doing anything after this? I do have to work tomorrow, but I can stay up for a little while.
I mean, we can watch one episode if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
You want to do it here?
You left.
Huh?
Yeah, just do it in here.
Yeah, I'll just end the broadcast and we'll just continue that way, right?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, won't you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online and when new videos drop. Smash that like button. It's free. It's right in front of you. It's effortless, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms, and it helps us get recommended to other people, puts us on the map. So please do that. Share this video with people you love. Better yet, share it with people you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solution, not part of their problems. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking critical, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love what I'm doing here and you can see the value in what I'm trying to create, and you'd like to be part of something special, you feel led to help out in some way, or you just want to pat me on the back and say, hey, Jake, nice job. You can do that. You can support us by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or if you're a CashApp user, you can go to $JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for us. It's a blessing for you. We live in a reciprocal universe. Give and receive. That's how it works. I greatly appreciate all of you being here and all of you that will watch this later all over the world on Spotify, Google Apps, YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Radio Republic, anywhere you can download podcasts. We're there. Check us out. Be here. Be awesome, and I'll see you guys on Sunday night at 8 o'clock sharp for some Bible study. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I love you. Please be kind to somebody when you go out into the world tomorrow. Just be nice. Go out of your way and do something nice for somebody. I don't care what it is. I don't care how much it costs. Buy a bum $1. Hold the door open for somebody. Whatever you got to do. A sandwich. Buy them a sandwich. Give them $1. However that works. Or you can buy them $1 if you're, buying from the black market. Either way, do that and watch it change your life. I promise you it will. You will utterly effervesce from the inside out. And some people will even comment on it. They'll be like, hey, you're shining. What did you do? Are you on a diet? Did you lose weight? Are you smoking crack again? Something. They'll notice. Watch it change your life. Do that. I love you true from the bottom of my heart. I do. It's me and you through and through from now until whenever something comes along that rhymes with you. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys Sunday night. Peace out.
Deuces.